Cheers, they do buckaroos, and how the heck are you? I am Tom the Beer Whisperer, at least for the purposes of this video anyway. How the heck are you? Let me see if I can get some fixed real fast. Having a couple beers with you. Been kind of having to space my beers out because I've been having issues lately. Let's see, I get this fixed up here. But I picked up two from a small brewery in Independence, Missouri called Three Trails. Sure, that got fixed then. There we go. We're back in business. Okay, put that down. Out of the way. All right, how the heck are you? So I got two. I'm gonna drink this one first. It's the root beer. Why did I buy it? It's a hard root beer because I was curious, and I thought my wife might want to try it too at some point. So it's 5.4%. Seems like about a decade ago, I guess it was. A lot of folks were popping out hard root beers, and it kind of died down for a second. So I was kind of surprised to see it, which is one of the reasons I picked it up. And I got to tell you, that nose is gorgeous. It smells just like root beer. Got an herbal notes. You might get some sassafras, some anise, certainly some vanilla. Oh man, that's beautiful. Oh man, ain't bad at all. I just need some vanilla ice cream now. Wow, yeah, that's floatable right there. That's good, man. Ain't bad. Not too sweet. You can feel that alcohol just a little bit, but not in a harsh way. You can't tell it's a hard root beer, I guess is what I really mean to say there. But it's nice. The flavors are nice. Yeah, again, you can just definitely get those herbal notes, right? Or botanical notes. The sassafras, anise, a little bit of vanilla. I feel like I'm picking up a little bit of molasses in there as well. Oh man, yeah, I do need some. I gotta go buy some ice cream now to try the rest of it. Oh yeah, I gotta float that baby. Oh man, that ain't bad. That is a collaboration with Polly's Pop, which is a local soda pop maker there. Boy, that is good though. Yeah, that ain't bad at all. Let me show you that can there. Yeah, you do get those root beer notes. You can't tell it is a hard root beer, but boy, the flavors are bad. Yeah, I like a very herbal root beer, so I really like it a lot. And it's not very sweet, so that I like as well. Oh man, that's delicious. Now I'm going to change directions about 180 degrees as I have this. Let me show that to you, and you can tell what it is just by the color, right? It is Active Sight, a hazy double IPA. I did have a half pour of this at the brewery. It's 9%, and I'm on record as saying I'm not the biggest fan of the hazies, but every once in a while I come across one, and I did enjoy it. So I did kind of want to buy a 6-pack to really come home and really dig into it a little bit more. Well, it's big and juicy as you expect the style to be. Yeah, a lot of citrus on the nose, a lot of citrus, some tropical fruit as well, but I'm getting mostly citrus right up front. Certainly some orange, tangerine, some grapefruit. But yeah, you might find some tropical fruit as well. It wouldn't be unusual for you to pick up some pineapples, some mango, passion fruit on the nose as well. It's quite a bit different from the first thing I drank. Obviously, that ain't bad though. It's nice. One thing I noticed at the brewery, that's why the main reason I wanted to try the 6-pack, even though I don't typically buy a lot of hazies, is for 9%, I really wasn't tasting any alcohol. And I will tell you that they hide it extremely well. This one could be dangerous because they do hide that 9% extremely well. That's really good. That's tasty, man. I don't care who you are. That's good. Yeah, I mean, like I said, I'm on the record to say I'm not the biggest fan of hazies, and I don't necessarily hate them. I don't buy into the craze, right? I don't necessarily think every craft brewery needs to have 7 different hazies on the menu, right? There are other things out there. But for me, I'm not a one-dimensional beer drinker, and I think the current crop of craft beer drinkers do seem to be kind of one-dimensional. I think those of us of a certain age like to order everything. Right? Um, if you talk to a craft beer drinker over 50, they don't typically have one style that they only order. But if you talk to folks under 30, a lot of them do, and a lot of them are just very style specific. I mean, I run into folks in the industry that only drink sours or only drink hazies or only drink milkshakes. The younger craft beer drinkers seem to approach it differently than us older folks do. Excuse me. And again, there are always exceptions to the rule. I'm not saying it's a hard and fast rule, but I have noticed that, excuse me, that a lot of younger drinkers seem to drink very specific. I've got folks that'll come in and only drink IPAs. I got folks that'll come in and only drink, uh, multi offerings. Whereas myself, if I walk into a brewery, I mean, I'm going to draft 4 beers, and that's going to make no sense to anybody. And it kind of depends on what they have on the menu, right? I mean, I might have a Pils, I might have a double IPA, I might have their Oktoberfest, and I might have a barley wine if those options are available. I mean, I'm all over the place. But I feel like for the most part, craft beer drinkers under 30 seem to be more style specific than us older guys. So a lot like the nose, right? A lot like the nose. I get more citrus than anything else. I get more orange and tangerine than anything else. But yeah, you might find some grapefruit in there as well, some tropical fruit notes as well. But I do get a lot of big citrus, and sort of a mix between the fruit and the zest, depending on where on your palate it hits. But I will say, I mean, trying to drink this thing, yeah, I mean, you don't taste the 9% at all. I mean, it is amazing. You don't taste that at all. They do hide it extremely well somehow at 9%. Yeah, it doesn't feel like 9%. I'm sure it'll feel like 9% later, but drinking it, it does not. And that's what I kind of noticed at the brewery. But I only had that half pour. That's why I wanted to buy a 6 pack and really, kind of delve into it. It is good. It is one of the best that I've had, to be honest with you. It's certainly, yeah, I think it. I think it. I think it can contend with the best of them, in my opinion. This one has done extremely well. I really like it. Yeah, so a little bit of sweetness, almost like you get a little hint of stone fruit, a little bit of nectarine right there. I was finding that nectarine note. Reminds me of the old Kern's nectars for those of us of a certain age. And quite frankly, I don't know if the Kern's nectars ever made it out of the West Coast. So unless you're from California, I'm not sure you have any idea what I'm talking about. But they were popular in the 60s and 70s. Those hippies, those hippies, yeah, Kern's nectars were very big in California for a period of time. And that's what, and my dad on his hot truck or food truck used to keep those Kern's nectars because certain percentage of those construction workers, especially the younger folks, like those Kern's nectars, especially in the morning with their breakfast. But yeah, that's what that, especially the texture and that mouthfeel really reminds me of that the nectarine Kern's nectars in there, right about the middle. Wow, just brought that memory back, right? The hot truck playing La Cucaracha to bring folks in. Might not have been politically correct, but that's what was on the air horn, right? There was a lot of Hispanic construction workers. Nobody took offense. It was a different time. It was a different time. Dad had a friend. So, Dad was very Midwest. So the food Dad cooked or knew how to put together was very Midwest. Uh, but he also knew what his audience was. So he had a friend show him how to properly put together a chorizo and egg burrito and a chorizo egg and potato burrito. And how to buy good quality chorizo. So once that friend showed him how to do it, Dad hated doing these things. He really did. He didn't like the smell. He didn't like it at all. I loved it, but I mean, it sold like nobody's business. And Dad used to say, "I keep trying to make it sloppier so folks will quit ordering. It seems like the sloppier I make it, the more they buy." But anyway, Dad, even though he didn't know what he was doing, really, he was just following directions. Made a great chorizo, potato, and egg burrito. And just that notion of the Kurz nectar brought those other memories back somehow. But yes, yeah, I do get mostly going back to the beer, trying to focus. Focus, stop. Yeah, I do get mostly citrus, but right in the middle there. Again, I was feeling it not necessarily just the flavors. It was that mouthfeel. Just reminded me a lot of those old Kurz nectars from way back when. But yeah, you do get a lot of citrus, a little bit of tropical fruit notes as well, and a lot of that's just going to depend on you and your palate, right? Because if you don't eat certain things, you're not going to taste certain things. So it's really going to be all up to your interpretation. Bottom line, I think this is one of the best put together double hazies I've ever had. This thing is insane, and at 9%. I mean, you cannot taste that 9% at all. I got to tell you, you cannot. I mean, I'm sure I'm going to feel it in a bit, but no, you can't taste it. It is not boozy in the least. And in fact, if I didn't know I was pouring a 9% hazy double, I would have just made an assumption it was probably about a 6.5% hazy. Because I mean, it is delicious. It's absolutely delicious. It is put together extremely well. I do believe that, in my opinion, now this one it's a contender. It's as good as any hazy double I've ever had. So there you go. I am Tom the Beer Whisperer. This root beer, I got to tell you, was pretty freaking outstanding as well. So yeah, I like Three Trails in Independence, Missouri. If you can get out there, I am Tom the Beer Whisperer, beer evangelist, prolific beer drinker, purveyor, wisdom man. All around good guys, lunch you.